I'm a big fan of these air filter assemblies on the M113 engine. They have twin filtration, good airflow through both sides into the engine. And replacing them is not that bad. It's not just a snap and go like some air filters, but you do have to pull this off the engine. I'm not going to do a video on this. I've done a lot of videos on pulling the covers off without damaging them. I will show you a little trick about reinstalling it so you don't have a problem with it seating properly. But we have to pull this box off here and this box, and that will expose the two air filters. Now this is a Torx T25, so let's pull these out and let's see what we got in here. No, not bad. Look at that. Of course, that's the bottom side, so let's pull it out. I don't want the junk to go inside the air filter housing, so let's pull it out this way. Well, look at that. I'm pleased. That's one of the cleaner M113 air filters I've pulled out in recent years. Let's take a look at the other side. You can't believe that sometimes I'll pull this out and you got leaves and junk. So you do see that the filter is doing its job. Look at this. Look at the amount of sand. That's the type of sand that's going to cause real damage inside the engine. So just a word of caution, you know, changing the filters is easy, but don't let this sand get dumped into the housing and then put it back on the car. We're going to blow this out thoroughly, and then I'm going to clean each one of these boxes thoroughly, and then we'll install the new filters, and then I'm just going to show you a couple little tips on reinstalling that air filter housing back onto the top of the engine. But look at that. Isn't that nice? It stayed out of the engine. Now let's just see how much more of that stuff is there, just for fun. Well, there it comes. So you see, even though this air filter kind of looks clean, not too bad, it's dirty and it needs replacing. So come on, folks, let's change air filters. And you R129 owners with the M113 engine, now you know how easy it is to do it. I've seen a number of incidences where these housings have not been installed properly on the tops of these M113 V8s and M112 V6s, and what happens is this doesn't seal properly. So if you don't get a good seal here, why bother putting in new air filters? Because you're just sucking in dirt right through here. So it's very important that this get put on and it seats down tightly, and you can usually do this by following this little trick that I use. Okay, you've got 4 clips here, and you've got to get these clips aligned with these little rubber pieces on top of the engine. I've seen where these have been forced on enough that the clips have been bent over. So the best thing to do is clean these rubber towers off and just smear them with a little bit of silicone dielectric grease. I'm going to do that now so that when you put the cover on, it just snaps into place without forcing it. And you'll make sure then that you're going to get a really good seat between this rubber seal here and this intake right there. Doesn't take much, just a very light film. And I'll put just a very light film here Make sure that slips all the way down on there. Just a very, very light film. You don't want to goop it on. You don't want that collecting dirt right there. All right. Now we can lift the housing up on here. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that back hole is going on. Okay, see, I got it to go down. All right, so I know that's going down. Now I got to move this over a little bit and line up these rubber towers with these clips, keeping these hoses out of the way. All right, and then I'm just going to feel it, and I'm just going to push. And then come forward and push. See, that just slipped right on without even having to force it. Now when I put the front cover on, you do have to be careful that you don't break the clips. So I see a lot of these clips broken because people don't do this properly. But the best way to do this is bend it like this. See this? Bend it up a little bit. Slide these two clips in here. And once that's in, then you can push this one down and push this one down and then come forward and push the front down. Okay, now you've installed this front piece without breaking those clips off, which I see all too often. And then finally just go ahead and slip the intake hoses on. And we have both a new cabin air filter and new engine filters. The engine's going to be happy, and I'm going to be happy driving this car. Of course, you know, I like to detail, so once I get this back on, I'm going to clean this. I don't like to spray tire shine all over the engine compartment like a lot of people do. Just collects more dust. Basically a good wipe down. I mean, if you want a show car that you're not going to drive, that's one thing, but just this is a driver. I'm just going to dust this off. And I'll be perfectly happy with the way that looks there.